If you're curious if you should ask that question, or if you're wondering how to really accelerate your growth, stay tuned because Tiera Byrd will be giving you tips that will change your life. Greetings. This is Dannita Trice, the founder of Tips Change Lives. I want to thank you for coming back for yet another episode of the Tips Story series. Today, I'm excited to introduce you to someone who is passionate about helping others reach their full potential, whether it's students in a development program or whether it's through her company, encouraging people to be more frugal. I know her as a strong partner in our business accountability group. And what sticks out to us, as you'll see, is her authenticity. I would like to welcome and introduce you to Tiera Byrd.
Hello, everyone. Hey, Dannita.
Hello, welcome.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes, I'm excited to have you today and to have everybody get to know you. Why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about your background?
Sure. I have experience working with high school students for the last 7 years, particularly in the area of higher ed, college access, and success. And I also have my own coaching business as well, Forever Frugal too. And I went to Virginia Commonwealth University, graduated in 2012 with a degree in business management, and I minored in psychology. So that's kind of where I am today.
Nice. So Tiera, why don't you tell us a little bit more about your business, Forever Frugal, too?
Sure. Absolutely. So Forever
Frugal. Put that too on there.
Yes, thank you. Sometimes I'm like Forever Frugal too. So thank you for that. Forever Frugal 2 was started back in 2014 as just a hobby and a platform where I shared some of my favorite money tips as it relates to specifically budgeting and saving and how I have built my life around those things. So I shared those things with different people and decided to create an Instagram page. So from that Instagram page, I interacted with so many people with some of the same goals as myself. And recently I decided to start doing money coaching because, if these tips help me, I want to share them with everyone else. I believe in financial empowerment, financial literacy, and that is why I started Forever Frugal 2 6 years ago. So I'm super excited because it's now turning into the business, like a business now. I'm working on a website and I have clients and it's just been amazing.
Nice. So Tiera, tell me a tip, any tip that has changed your life professionally.
This is a great question. I would say a tip that has changed my life professionally is asking questions. So I always ask questions. If I'm not aware of something, I try not to assume because assumptions are not good in the professional world, in my opinion. And to give you a little bit of background about that, a couple years ago, at one of my previous employers, we would have weekly meetings. And during this particular meeting, we talked about some of the things that we loved about each other. And two of my coworkers mentioned that I was very inquisitive. And I'm like, wow, am I really inquisitive? They said, yeah, every time you come to a staff meeting, you bring your questions. If we're working on a new project, you're bringing your questions and you're asking questions until you figure it out. You don't ask questions until like the other person is like, okay, Tiera, you should have it by now. You want to make sure you understand what you're doing. And that was something that they said that they admired about me. And I didn't realize it at all. So it just prompted me to ask more questions. And it also, one of them told me that they were afraid to ask some of the questions that I asked. So some of their answers came from me asking questions, and it kind of empowered them and motivated them to ask questions too, whether it be to a team, a coworker, or to a boss or staff member, supervisor. So that is a professional tip. I encourage everyone to be inquisitive, to ask questions when you're uncertain, and not to assume.
Nice. Thank you for that, Tiera. Sometimes we forget in the hustle and bustle of every day that professionals are people too.
Absolutely.
Why don't you tell us a tip, any tip that has changed your life that has nothing to do with professionalism.
Awesome. I would say to never stay in your comfort zone. I feel like your comfort zone is a zone where you're comfortable, and that limits areas where you're able to grow. So for me, trying to get out of my comfort zone, this comfortable bubble that I put myself in, has been challenging, but I feel like there are so many areas of opportunity for me outside of my comfort zone. And, that's not to say I can't go back into my comfort zone. I can go back there, but I think it's important for others to realize that you should not stay there. You should not stay in your comfort zone, especially if you want to grow, because the process of growing is not always easy. It's not always fun. Sometimes it can be challenging, but it can definitely get you to that next level of success as it relates to your goals.
Nice. So something else that was fun, I asked you to bring your favorite drinkware. I have mine here. So let's see what yours is and tell us what you put in it throughout the day.
This is my favorite drinkware. I actually got it from a coworker. Ooh. And I absolutely love it. And it's ginger tea in here. And it has a T, which stands for Tiera. So
what's funny, both of us have T's on our favorite glasses.
I absolutely love it.
Cool, very cool.
Yes, ma'am.
Nice. So, Tiera, why don't you tell us how someone can contact you for financial coaching and just a little bit more about the specific services that you provide?
Absolutely, sure. So for Ever Frugal 2, I provide one-on-one money coaching. So this will look like myself, and for an example, you would sit down with me, well, virtually now, and we would discuss everything as it relates to money. I will ask you questions like, what were you taught about money? Did that relationship happen when you were young? Did it happen when you were in high school? And how has, what you were taught, how does that kind of relate to who you are today? And what things have you learned and what things do you want to unlearn? So we will talk about facts and myths and behaviors that will gear you towards success. We also can talk about your budget, and if you need to create a budget spreadsheet and tips on how to help you budget your money, create a budget, track your expenses, and ultimately save so that you can be in control of your money. So Forever Frugal 2 has an Instagram page. It's Forever Frugal, the number 2. I also have a Facebook page, Forever Frugal 2. And then I also have an email, Forever Frugal 2, but the number 2 is spelled out, @gmail.com. So foreverfrugaltwo@gmail.com is how I can be reached. And I want to say this is something that it puts me in a place where I can be both the teacher and the student, because it teaches me so much, because I love working with people. I mentioned earlier that I've worked with students, high school students all around Richmond for the last 7 years. And that mentoring, coaching aspect of that has helped me to develop my interpersonal skills. So I love working with people one-on-one. I absolutely love it. And I tell my clients that all the time. There's so many benefits from working with someone one-on-one. You don't have to worry about if you're scared to ask a question, or if there's a crowd of people and you just feel nervous. That one-on-one back and forth relationship, it definitely helps myself and the other person that I'm coaching. So that's something that I value and I absolutely love it. And it's a personal touch that you can't get nowhere else.
Fantastic. Well, again, Tiera, I want to thank you for joining us today for the Tip Story series. And I want to thank you all for tuning in for yet another episode. We have one more episode left after this. I encourage you to play this back and take up those tips that Tiera has given us today. And just remember that it only takes a tip or a small bit of information applied persistently that can change your life. I'll see you on the next episode.